Hey, what's up, people? How's it going there? I hope all's well. All right, I got a good one for you today. My friend Nick had mentioned Ronnie the Rottweiler, and I'll get into that. First, I want to clear up a few discrepancies in one of my last videos I dropped about where the police are now patrolling the subway tunnels where they park the trains to stop people from writing graffiti on the trains. Now, they've always been doing that throughout my whole life. That's been going on. So why should the younger generation get a break? That's the way I see it. And in mentioning how I don't like the younger generation going down into the train tunnels and going over shit that is like sacred. Like you got graffiti down there from the 70s and the 80s, especially around layups where they park trains. Like Is the Wiz, rest in peace, stuff like that. You got BT, Exy. I've seen people go right over him. And then they post the pictures on Instagram like they're cool. And I'm like, what a dick. Like, I'm sorry, you just lose all respect for me when you do shit like that. And I had mentioned that I was young once, and I used to go around in the train tunnels and write on trains and shit like that. Hell, probably longer and harder than most of you people out there. I mean, you got to realize I am like the longest lasting illegal graffiti writer out, man. For real, there's no one out there that was hitting shit as hard as me for as long as me. Just don't exist. There's few people have been out as long as me, but they just weren't out there like me on illegal stuff. You got people out there doing murals and stuff, but that's perfectly legal. Anyway, getting back to the train tunnels, I had mentioned that they should know better. I knew better when I was a child. Like I said, I would actually look in the stairwell, the exits that go up to the street in a layup, whether it's Grant or anywhere, City Hall, whatever. I would actually look for a spot. And if I didn't see a spot, I wouldn't write there. I'd write on the next wall or something like that. Nowadays, these guys are going right over some real legendary shit, and it breaks my heart. And what I said is, they should know better. Few people, oh, how are they going to know better? Well, they fucking know about not fucking kissing the third fucking rail, right? They know to stay the fuck out of the way of a subway train that's coming through the fucking subway tunnel, right? They know that shit. You don't see them sucking on the fucking third rail, do you? All right, then. They fucking know. No one wakes up one day and says, I'm going to go down the train tunnel and become a graffiti writer. They do is they start off fucking around with mailboxes and lampposts and shit like that in the street. And then they up their game a little bit. They go down the tunnels and they fuck up some real ancient, beautiful fucking graffiti. And I don't like that. And that's why I simply say, fuck them, lock them up. Okay? Now, getting to my man, Ronnie. Yeah, Ronnie the Rottweiler. That was a good one, man. Nick the Greek. Now, we got funny names. I gotta admit, I did not know Ronnie at all as Ronnie the Rottweiler. I've known Ron probably since he was 16 years old until he was like 20, maybe 21 years old, and then I never saw him again. And yeah, I know Ron real well. I used to hang out with Ron. I was mentioning the Vagabonda. But yeah, there was so many people. Once again, we'll get into this. When I was growing up in the 80s, there was so many fucking kids, so many fucking teenagers, man. Like so many kids that, yeah, Ron was one of them that would hang out with us. We were just street kids. We were criminals, robbing and stealing and shit. And he's a dude that, yeah, I've hung out with him several times. I can tell you the last time I met him was in Umberto's, the Italian place down on Mulberry Street. I was eating calamari with some red wine. Me and my brother were in there at about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. Umberto's, I believe the original location. They probably moved by now, I'm pretty sure. And Ron came in through the back door, the famous back door. Umberto's is where Joe Gallo got shot. And Matthew Ionello owned Umberto's. Anyway, I'm in there with my brother about 3 in the morning. I forgot how we winded up down there. It's not within our normal travels, but we were in there eating calamari and drinking red wine. Ron came up, hugged me, and gave me a kiss on the cheek and shit. Hey, this, that. Real friendly guys. And he did the same with my brother, and he put the whole bill. Now, he did not pay the bill. He was going in Umberto's. He was going behind the counter. He was going in the kitchen and everything. And he was plugged in like that down on Mulberry Street. And he's like, yo, don't worry, man. He got, he took care of the bill. for us. He didn't. I didn't physically witness him paying it. He just told the guy that dead to shit. And I mean, we were there. We were going to buy it. I forget why me and my brother were in Umberto's. Must have came up with some money, robbed something, or sold some shit or another, and we had money, a little extra to play with. So we went down to Umberto's. And I'll tell you, ever since that time, that Ron got us in with Umberto's there, and we shook the guy's hand and everything. From that point forward, every time I would have a date, I'd be out with a girl or something, I'd pick up a chick, I'd bring Umberto's because these people would give me a little extra attention and than they would the other people. And, it makes you feel like, wow, people in Umberto's, they know you. It's good with the ladies. It's good even if you have clients in some kind of business or something like that. So my brother too, my brother from that point forward would bring girlfriends down to Umberto's and stuff like that. And, have a nice little meal. And it's nice when the guy's like, hey, how are you today? A little extra friendly, pat me on the back and shit. It goes a long way. A girl sees us. She's like, wow, this guy is someone. So for that, yeah, very grateful for that. I haven't been in Berto's in a long time. I don't even know if it's definitely still there. But yeah, that's the last time I've seen Ron. And that was probably 89, 1989, 1990 maybe. I know John JJ 357 had passed away. Um, what else can I say about Ron? Hi, this is funny. We were all dirt bags, man. I mean, dirty motherfuckers, man, scavenging like savages. Like me, John, Sammy. Yeah, we were bums, man. We wouldn't change our clothes. The whole summer would go by. We'd just jump in the fucking pool. When the pool closes in John Jay Park, and that's the park that's in my neighborhood, and everyone would come from Harlem, from the West Side, Hell's Kitchen. Everyone would come to that pool to swim in the summer. And that's how we became friends with a lot of people. Like a lot of people from uptown, Alpo, shit like that. A lot of different people, Asia, so many different people we met and became cool with just because the pool was there and everyone wanted to swim in the pool, especially late at night. And I swear we would not bathe, man. I ain't gonna lie, we would not bathe, man. We would jump in the pool and we'd literally just swim, and we'd consider that taking a bath, like throughout the whole summer. Like you got no school or nothing. Yeah, we'd be dirty motherfuckers. Ron, now Ron, boy, I'll tell you that motherfucker would be dressed to the T. Every single little hair would be perfect. Now he looked like a young Andy Garcia. Yeah, he'd wear like a leather coat, a three-piece suit, nice fancy shoes and shit. He used to look funny, man. I'll tell you, he didn't look funny, but the picture of us all together would look funny because he'd be dressed real nice, and we'd be like, "Where?" But yeah, I know Ron real well, man. God bless him, man. Like I said, I don't know nothing about Ronnie the Rottweiler. Apparently, he got into boxing. It looks like he got himself in a little trouble somewhere along the line with the feds. Um, yeah, I don't know. I lost touch with them after all that. Now, Nick the Greek, we call him Nick the Greek. We really do call him Nick the Greek. I mean, it's nothing to do with that movie that came out. What was it? Snatch or one of the movies. It had Nick the Greek in it, or Stock Load Barrel or whatever. No, we would call him Nick the Greek from way back. And that's because he was Greek. And then we had a couple of Nicks. You had an Irish Nicky, which was Nicky Hack. We would call him Nicky Hack. And then you had regularly Nick, then yeah, you had fucking so many different Nickies. So he was Nicky the Greek. That's the way it went. Yeah, you had fucking I know I'm forgetting. Nicky Perry is another one. Nicky Perry, Michael Perry, Anthony Perry. So all three of the Perrys, yeah. I think they're all dead now. I think the last, no, Anthony's probably still alive. He's probably still in prison. Um, Michael's dead. Michael Perry was my age, maybe a year older than me, and he wrote graffiti also. He wrote BMX. He was down with like the Budweiser boys and shit like that. It's uptown more like the 80s, 83rd Street, Mimi's Pizza Parlor, Lexington Avenue. Yeah, that would be the Budweiser boys, which I talk about Chris Pisani, Sadist, Dave Filio, the murder and the rape shit there at NYU University. No, not NYU. What the fuck is it up there? Columbia University. Yeah, so a bunch of dudes. But yeah, Ron, I knew him real well, man. Ron. Like I said, I didn't know nothing about Ronnie the Rottweiler. When I knew him, he was Ron. Because then we also had Ronnie Yip. Now, Ronnie Yip he was like Asian mixed with Puerto Rican or something. He was like Chinese and Puerto Rican. He was from the Lower East Side. He wrote with TNS, EL3, TNS. And Ronnie Yip wrote Luck, Luck. And he hung out with Cell, Cel, from the Lower East Side, down there near the bridge. So we had that Ronnie. And so this guy, I just knew him as Ron, but very good friend of mine, man. I can never say nothing bad about him, man. Real good dude, man. I remember he was around more like on the clubbing tip when people started going clubbing and shit. I really obviously wasn't into clubbing too much. I remember I remember Jimmy Conchero trying to teach me how to dance, man. What was that in the Limelight or the MKs? I was tripping, man. What the fuck was it? It was before the Bart Simpson LSD stamps. It was before that. I think it was the Hollies, like when the dove with the holly in his mouth, they came out around the holidays. Yeah, I remember bugging the fuck out. Jimmy Conchero tried to teach me to dance. He's like, I'm doing all this shit. I'm like trying to fucking mimic it. Yeah, yeah, I was like Frankenstein out there, But yeah, man, I wish Ronnie nothing but the best, man. Like I said, I know I did all this Ronnie the Rottweiler just became clear to me maybe 3, 4 hours ago when Nick had mentioned it. Upon posting, I don't know when I'm actually going to drop this video, but yeah, Nick the Greek had mentioned Ronnie the Rottweiler. I'm like, who the fuck? I don't know. I was like, oh shit, yeah, because I was talking about a vagabondo and across the street from my house, and yeah, he became a boxer. He was doing pretty good with boxing and stuff like that. What else? Also, I saw him in like I don't listen to rap music. I like rock and roll, but Nick had mentioned the DJ Caslay rolling 200 deep. I think is the name of the video. And you look at the white dude with the gold tooth and the AK-47 with the 9 millimeter. Yeah, that's Ronnie the Rottweiler right there, man. Yeah, he looked different than when I remember him. Like I said, I known him 16 years old, 17 years old, 18 years old, 19 years old, 20, 21. Yeah, by 21, I think I got married at that point. After that, and then I never saw him again. But yeah, he was out there, man. Street kids, man. Criminals, man. Straight up from a young age, man. Definitely, Ronnie, a good dude. But yeah, he's in that DJ K-Slay. I think it's a memorial for him. All the videos I found with Ronnie was like 16 years old, 18 years old on YouTube, something like that. 15 years old, it said. So I don't know what he's up to nowadays. I wish him nothing but the best. If anyone is in touch with Ronnie the Rottweiler, tell him RD said, what's up? Give him a big hug for me, man. Tell him I love him, man. Straight up. Good dude, man. Good dude. Now, as far as it goes with K-Slay, I've explained after he had passed away that, yeah, I really wasn't on speaking terms with Caslay towards his demise. My was convicted of a murder, and Caslay was living, or there's a hotel like on the next block from my house off the FDR Drive. I believe it's actually like condominiums or something like that. It's a very nice big building. I remember robbing that place when they were building it. We'd steal power tools out of there and sell them as they were building that building in the early 80s. But anyway, yeah, I saw Caslay on like York Avenue and 63rd Street one day, and he was walking with a friend of his that I don't know. And he's like, yo, there, yo, Rob, this and that. Like, yo, what's up with your brother, man? A motherfucker on some Jeffrey Dahmer shit, yo. I heard he was eating that motherfucker. And I'm like, yo, come on, man. I was upset at those comments. I said, come on, man. You can't believe the fucking newspapers and shit. He's like, no, that's what he said first. Oh, shit, yo, Rob, I thought you was dead. And I'm like, well, obviously that's not true. That's what I said to him. I said, obviously that's not true. And he said, well, I read in the paper that you were dead, and my son and this and that. And I said, well, that's obviously not true. I'm here. He's like, yo, what's up with that shit, man? You white boys downtown like fucking Jeffrey Dahmer in reference to cannibalism. And I told him, come on, man. Obviously that shit's not true, man. Look, I'm alive, right? He's like, "Yo, but still, man, motherfucker." And I was like, "Yo, man, fuck you." And I walked away from him, and I haven't spoke to him again. And I'm very saddened by his death. I mean, I've explained in the past I knew of Caslay, never really hung out with him like that. I've known Caslay, Desi TFA, when he used to be a squeegee, when he used to wash car windows on 59th Street Bridge, when the tramway was built, early 80s, late 70s. Yeah, K-Slay, all them TFA dudes, East River houses, up there where Alpo lived. Yeah, the same buildings, man. He used to wash car windows. A squeegee. I mean, we were all out there hustling, doing shit. I would be out there selling newspapers that we would steal when they throw the newspapers off the back of the trucks early in the morning, 5, 6 in the morning. They'd throw these newspapers off the back of the truck and they would land in front of the Optimo shop. So we would grab those stacks of newspaper and we would go to the 59th Street Bridge. One of us would be on the upper deck and one of us would be on the lower deck. And we would just sell the newspapers for like 10 cents or 5 cents or something like that. And it was a good little hustle when we were young kids. This is before I was even a teenager, I'm talking about. And Casley, Des, would be doing windows, car windows. And we used to have arguments because they wanted to do car windows and we wanted to sell newspapers. And, so it always, me and Casley was never really on the same page. I ain't gonna front. Straight up. We were never on the same page, man. We got love for each other. We never physically tried to hurt each other or anything like that. Yeah, we go back, man. We go back. And anyway, Ronnie the Rottweiler. It's hard for me to say Ronnie the Rottweiler because I don't know the Rottweiler part. This shit just came about 3 hours ago. But yeah, he's in that video and he's singing about like this, that, some shit about killing rats. And I like it, man. God fucking bless him, man. I wish him nothing but the best. And he's out there, man. You guys, you know him, man. You give him a way to get in touch with me. I don't know. I mean, like I said, my brother was convicted of a murder, which was on a block with the Avegamondo, and he was involved with the Avegamondo. So, yeah, I don't know if, he's probably got a family and kids and shit like that. So, yeah, life is definitely different, man. We grow old, man. I'm like 55 years old. I saw him last time, 30 something years ago was the last time I saw him, man. But yo, any of you guys see him, man? Give him a big kiss for me, man. A hug, man. Yeah, straight up, man. Ronnie the Rottweiler. That's a good one, man. Yo, take care of yourselves, people. Yeah, I wanted to mention, I'm going to get Nick Greek on here one day. He said he would like to come on. So we're working on that currently. And yeah, about the children thing, ever since I said that, like there's like no kids being born, like we're all these mafia rats that open up these things and start talking shit about the people they ratted on. They're like, "Oh, I do it for the kids. I don't want the kids." And I'm like, "Oh, there is no kids. Like there's no kids being born." And it's really true. Like when I grew up, there was like 40 of us, 50 of us. I mean, any God forgiven night, you go into John Jay Park in the summer, there's like 20 of us just sitting there. Even in the winter, it'll be about 5 or 6 of us. Like, yo, yeah, nowadays you go in the park, there's like no one. You might see like one or two kids like sitting there playing on their fucking cell phones or something like that. Even when my son was growing up, he's going to be 22 this Sunday. Even when he was coming up, he had about maybe 10 friends. So it'd be like 3 or 4 of them in the park, 5 of them in the park, maybe 10 if they're playing like a basketball game or something like that. But yeah, it's like really like it's not like that no more, man. Yeah, the neighborhoods aren't neighborhoods, man. Everyone's from out of town around here. Yeah, it's wild, man. Take care of yourselves, people. But I've been paying attention to that shit. I've been riding my bicycle to work, back from work, and I work for the Department of Health downtown. And I don't even see baby carriages, man. It's been like 4 or 5 days, and I've been looking, and I have not seen one fucking baby carriage. Like 4 or 5 days in the city of New York City, the city. Yeah, the city. You see a fucking baby carriage on every block back in the days. Peace.